Hey everyone, welcome to the final Pinky Autonomy Worldwide December edition 2025, wrapping it up in a big way. Big shout out, big thanks to our friends in Chandler Pro Cigar Bar, and of course Club 602 for making all this possible. Rounding out the year with a trip to Europe. 3 wines as usual, starting in France with the lovely expression of Chenin Blanc from Marc Bredif, the Vouvray appellation from the Loire region. Definitely a great way to end the year. Next we have a lovely Barbera d'Alba from Pietro Rinaldi up in northern Italy, just right up against the Alps, and definitely a food friendly expression. Rounding out with a beautiful Rioja from Ramon, Bilbao, in Edición Limitada, so a little step up from your typical Crianza. 100% Tempranillo deliciousness. So, starting in France, anything from Vouvray is going to be 100% Chenin Blanc. It's a grape that is native to the area and can be made in a lot of different ways. This particular expression of Chenin Blanc is going to be just barely off dry. So just a little sweet, but not over the top. The classic indication on the label lets you know that they've taken time to handpick some grapes. The chalky and clay soil lends to some great minerality. And our friends over at the Marc Bredif estate have definitely gone all out to give us something lovely here. So as usual, taking a look, definitely a little pale gold. It's a little bit deeper colored than a Sauvignon Blanc, which is the cousin to Chenin Blanc. But this pale gold drinks like gold. It's got a big vibrant nose, lots of pear, a little bit of peach, kind of some tropical notes like pineapple, a lot of like white flowers going on too. The citrus is obviously there as well. You can almost smell the minerality, but very complex and beautiful nose. Time for taste. All just very balanced, very complex. A lot going on. Incredibly food friendly. The fruit notes are definitely kind of yellow fruit, orchard fruits, little pear, little citrus. The pineapple definitely comes through, actually, as well as the peach, just in a very right manner. The acidity is what I would say vibrant. It has a slightly creamy texture, and that's attributed to the fact that it is on lees for about 6 to 9 months. And so once autolysis happens, you definitely get that kind of brioche factor happening, which really just as to the body and depth of this wine. Definitely medium bodied, very crisp, but again, incredibly balanced. And on the finish, you just get that beautiful minerality that is, found throughout the whole Loire Valley, but especially Vouvray. As I said, definitely food friendly. So starting with the cheeses, Chèvre, Brie, Burrata, anything creamy. The acidity here really cuts, and the medium body really will stand up well to pretty much anything you throw at it. Anything in the seafood realm, any shellfish you ever think of, oysters, shrimps, scallops, a whole host of whitefish, whether it be cod, halibut. Get you some Hawaiian ono. They'll all pair very nicely with this. Roasted chicken, turkey because it is the holiday season. Pasta Primavera, if you want to go that route. And the taco pairing, fish tacos with guacamole. Can't go wrong. Sliding over to Italy. Pietro Rinaldi, Barbera d'Alba, 100% Barbera grape from the Piedmont region. So, again, northern Italy, from the Alba growing area. This grape is actually known for being highly acidic and having just kind of bright red fruit characteristics. This particular wine is grown a little bit of altitude, right around 300 or so meters, up on the slopes, in some limestone and clay soil. The fermentation is done in stainless steel, which really kind of contributes to the bright character of this wine. And it's also aged in stainless steel, and so minimal oak, zero oak influence. Really lets the fruit shine through and in the soil. So they also allow it to go through malolactic fermentation, which kind of changes the body and the mouthfeel of this wine. Taking a look, we got deep ruby, definitely some inkiness to it, and a little bit of a purple tint. On the nose, big and powerful. Fruit wise, you got cherry, maybe just a little bit of raspberry, almost like a currant or like a cassis kind of popping through. Tart, baking spice is there, which is strange because there's no oak. You can almost smell the alcohol, and it is 14.5%, so definitely up there a little bit. And then the little mineral notes poke through, which you expect from Italy. That limestone is definitely there. Onto the taste. Again, really balanced, but powerful. Ripe tart cherry, low currant. That limestone really pops through. It's very acidic, especially for red wine. The tannin, right around medium. nice medium body as well. And just that, yeah, that baking spice really does kind of poke through. Which again, is just got to be the grape only, because with no oak influence, pretty wild that characteristic is even there. Incredibly food friendly on a lot of levels. Starting in the cheese realm, Parmesan, aged Gouda, anything with that salt and creaminess. With fresh mozzarella, can't go wrong. I mean, Burrata again. The creaminess with the acidity would be just wonderful contrast. Naples style pizza, get a little margarita going on, or like, prosciutto mushroom, something like that. You're winning. Definitely pasta friendly too. Any of the red sauces, like the acidity from the tomato will balance nice. But if you get something like a ragu, or like something with some like some guanciale in there, you're gonna be happy. I think the braised beef dishes would do wonderful with this. It would be like a short rib, or get into like a well rendered chuck roast. Be doing the right thing. The fattiness with the acidity and that little bit of tannin just cut through it so nice. This wine is incredibly charcuterie friendly. So, any direction you want to go, don't think, just do it. And the taco pairing, I think Cochinita Pibil. Get the lovely fatty pork, with the deep tomato essence. Yeah, definite win. Onto definitely one of the most well-known producers from Rioja in Spain, Ramon Bilbao. Again, edición limitada, so it's indicating that it is a little step up from just your basic crianza. They're basically sourcing grapes from a little bit higher altitude, and also some of the top vineyards from Rioja Alta. Again, 100% Tempranillo grape, aged for 14 months in French and American oak. So, as opposed to the Barbera that we just tasted, this thing it's got some oak to it, and it's kind of a nice contrast. They bottle age it for 10 months after it sits in that oak. What's really cool about Ramon Bilbao is they own a lot of their own vineyards, but then they also contract a lot of smaller vineyards throughout the Rioja region to source their fruit from. So it's a really nice spectrum of the whole area. And it's helping out a lot of little guys. Color-wise, definitely ruby with almost like a rusty kind of orange tint on the nose. It's perfumey in a way different way. You get the subtle black and red fruits, like some blackberries going on. Again, with some cherry. But man, it got a little fennel almost, like a little licoricey, but vegetal note. The baking spice is definitely there, and that is absolutely from the influence from the oak. It's like a little like chocolate cacao kind of thing going on. A little tobacco, with that earthiness. And then, yeah, like a dry earth note that you can really pick up. On to the taste. Really complex and balanced with a big lingering finish. The fruit's very subtle in the black and the red fruit realm. The tannins medium plus. The acidity is there for sure, but man, it just keeps on going and going with that finish. The fruit and the spice are very well balanced. The oak really comes through in that, clove, almost like allspice, like hint of cinnamon and nutmeg. Definitely medium plus body, but that oak, big influence in this wine, and makes it very, very food contrast friendly, right? So any big aged cheese would go well with this. Even like a creamy blue cheese would be just incredible contrast. I mean, this wine really dries you out, so some of the creamy and funky would kind of, kickstart your taste buds in a different level. Like really bold charcuterie. And what I mean by that is, get some really funky meats going and, get that jardinera. It's been marinating going. Get some big, rich, flavorful cheeses. You can be happy. This one definitely needs some fatty meat in the sense of like, if you want to braise beef, like, oxtail or, again, do the short ribs, but do not trim the fat. Braised lamb too, like in the ossobuco realm, would be really nice with this. If I'm grilling the steak, gonna be a ribeye. As marbly and as fatty as I can find. Something like a cassoulet, traditional kind of French dish would be wonderful with this. And then as far as tacos go, cabeza tacos. Just that rich, crazy flavorful meat going on with just a little hint of cilantro and onion. Yeah, with this wine, solid. Hard to believe this is the last month of 2025. But thanks for joining me throughout. Really look forward to seeing everyone at our live tasting. And can't wait to see where we get into next year. Again, huge thanks to Pearl. Big shout out to Ian over there for always setting me up with a wonderful selection of wines to choose from. I just want to say thanks to everybody for sticking with me and coming to the live tastings and just having a great time, because that's what we do. Clip 602. Of course, Brother Rick. Big shout out. Much appreciated. Much thanks. Hope everyone has had a great start to the holiday season. Hope that continues to roll into 2026. Cheers, everybody. Talk soon.